During the period of 1976 to 1997, a total of over 1.6 million Vietnamese refugees were settled in countries such as the United States, Canada, France, West Germany, Britain, as well as Australia. The first boatload of Vietnamese refugees fleeing communist rule arrived in Australia in 1976. More than 50 boats would ferry 2,100 Vietnamese to Australia in the following 5 years. By 1985, 70,000 refugees from Southeast Asia, mostly Vietnam, had settled in Australia. These refugees are commonly referred to as boat people. However, is this entirely accurate? Not necessarily. Since North Vietnamese refugees fled through land, getting into Hong Kong, most South Vietnamese refugees did flee by boat, however. The Whitlam government in its final month had brought the Racial Discrimination Act of 1975 into effect, which made racial discrimination illegal. From 1975 to 1982, Australia had accepted almost 60,000 Vietnamese refugees, most of them now coming by plane. It is wrong to refer to the Vietnamese refugees as boat people, as many of them did come by boat, but in fact had also come by plane, and then seeking and being granted refugee status. What effect did this have on Australian society? The number of Vietnamese-born Australians skyrocketed. According to the 1971 census, there were only 700 Australians which reported that they were born in Vietnam, but this number had grown to 80,000 after 15 years. This large arrival of Vietnamese people to Australia had come after the last elements of the White Australia policy were removed by the Whitlam government in the 1970s. The White Australia policy refers to a series of laws that restricted non-Europeans their right to immigrate to Australia, starting with the Immigration Restriction Act of 1901. This law made it mandatory for immigrants to take a dictation test in any European language. Fortunately, this test was removed in 1958. The Whitlam government in its final month had brought the Racial Discrimination Act of 1975 into effect, which made racial discrimination illegal. From 1975 to 1982, Australia had accepted almost 60,000 Vietnamese refugees, most coming by plane.